Hello patrons, just thought I'd give you a little in behind the scenes video here, an exclusive for you guys, just a thank you for your support. And I've got a little bit of news. I've had some surgery done on my hand, so I'm a little bit incapacitated as far as repairing sewing machines at the moment, but you know, I'm still able to work with it to a certain extent. I can't do anything major, but haven't been doing much in the way of videos while I'm recovering from this. It's actually a hereditary disease that I've had fixed up. If you have a look on this hand here, you'll see that I've got this finger curling in, and I'm not sure if you've noticed in some of the videos, you might have noticed on my left hand that this little finger here was permanently down like this here, and it's not trigger finger, it's called Dupuytren's Contracture, and it's reasonably common. You can see it's starting on this finger here. So apparently, I mean, I won't show you the gory details of this one, but what it is collagen that pulls on the tendon, and eventually, you know, the growth of collagen will pull the tendon so that the finger will, you know, eventually end up like this here. And yeah, being hereditary, my mother's got it, my brother and uncle had it quite badly, and cousins and whatnot. So yeah, apparently it's otherwise known as Viking's disease. So I didn't realize I had any Viking in me, but maybe I do. Apparently it was supposed to do with something to do with holding the oars or something, you know, who knows, but I didn't realize I had any Viking in me. But yeah, so that's kind of slowing me down a little bit. I can't really do any repairs, as I said before, but I can certainly set a machine up and you know, test it for sewing and things like that. So basic sort of things. It takes me 10 times longer to do anything, but hopefully I'll be out of this in a week or two's time. And yeah, so it's pretty well bandaged up now, but and I won't show you, but there's a, it sounds a bit gory, but they've actually put a wire down my finger, so they've released the contracture to straighten the finger as much as possible, and then they put a wire down called a K-wire, I think, and that holds the finger out to stop it from contracting while, you know, the skin's healing, because, you know, they cut away the skin. Sorry to be gory here, but they cut the skin away basically. Have a look. I'll leave a link in the description to the name of the disease, and maybe a link to the wiki article or something like that, but you can see in there what's involved if you would like to go further and look at that. Yeah, so little update there. Couple of other things I'd like to talk about as well. I've got a I had a radio interview with one of our national radios stations here. It's a fairly popular radio station called Radio New Zealand, or RNZ. I'll also link the interview in to you below, but I was quite surprised. I got a call out of the blue from a producer at Radio New Zealand, and she said to me that her sister, I had repaired one of her sewing machines. She lives in Nelson, which is a city about half an hour's drive away, 45 minutes drive away from here. And she said that she'd be interested in interviewing me, or not her, she's the producer, but Catherine Ryan, who was a presenter on the morning show at Radio New Zealand, would be keen to interview me. So basically just go through how I got into repairing sewing machines and what I'm doing now, and sort of rescuing machines, and you know, basically, yeah, just an overview of what I do. I mentioned the YouTube channel. I also mentioned that I do a bit of sewing and a little bit of quilting as well. Started doing a bit of quilting. I've been doing quilting for a little while actually. I'm on my second quilt now, and I really enjoy that. But it's quite labour intensive, and obviously with this I haven't been able to do a lot with that lately. But yeah, my first quilt was probably made about 5 years ago, I guess. Yeah, so I've done one and then just sort of left it and then just got back into it recently. I'm making a quilt for my niece. She's coming up 10, she's 10 now, coming up 11 next year. So yeah, doing a quilt for her, single bed quilt, something that, you know, is fairly timeless and will last her a long time. So that's a little project I've got on the go. I might do a quick video and show you what I'm doing with that one later on. I don't have it here with me at the moment. Yeah, sorry, this is pretty much unscripted. I've just got a few notes here. Yeah, so yeah, the interview, I'll link it in below. You can have a listen to that if you want to. And the interview actually sparked a few inquiries, quite a few inquiries, because I mentioned that I repair machines and that they come in from all over the country. In fact, I had a machine sent from London the other day. It's just gone back a few weeks ago. A little Elna Lotus, a little portable machine. And, you know, that kind of shocked me really, that this customer got hold of me via email, I think it was, and asked if I would repair their Elna Lotus, and they're willing to send it from London. So it sounded almost like, you know, they couldn't find anyone there that they trusted to do the repair. You know, London's a pretty big place. I would have thought that someone there would have been able to fix it for them. But anyway, they entrusted me to do it for them and sent it over here. And yeah, I got it sorted for them and sent it back to them, as say, a few weeks ago. And, you know, reasonably expensive, sending a machine around the world. So yeah, anyway, they were prepared to pay the price, and yeah, so that was interesting. But anyway, back to my point was that I'd had a lot of calls from around the country to say the local repair people here won't look at my machine. They say it's too old. They just say, you know, bin it, or, you know, uneconomical to repair, or, you know, can't get the parts, or all sorts of excuses. I did hear one excuse from someone in our capital city here. Basically said to the lady, she had a beautiful Swiss-made Bernina, I think it was like a 1000 series model, and they basically said to her that it was bad for the environment to keep this machine going, because it was made back when they didn't care so much about the environment, you know, in the 70s or 80s, or whenever that one was made, probably 80s, maybe even 90s. But anyway, that was their spiel, you know, which doesn't kind of wash with me at all. You know, if you're going to talk about things like that, you can say, well, the damage has been done, right? Whatever it's taken, whatever energy is taken to make that machine has already been expended. It's done. Best to keep the machine going, I would say, rather than chuck it in the bin and then buy a modern machine that's going to last, you know, more than likely not as long as a Swiss-made machine. Yeah, that was an interesting one. But anyway, I'm getting off on a tangent here, sort of. My point again was, I had calls from all over the country, and machines coming in, being sent in from all over the country. It really surprised me. It wasn't heaps, it was probably half a dozen or so machines coming from North Island, bottom of the South Island, you know, Christchurch was probably a 5-hour drive away, you know, people just bundling machines up, sending them to me, saying that local repairmen can't sort it, and all of the machines I've been able to repair and send back. I've been able to track down the parts, been able to do the job and get the machines back up and running. I had a featherweight sent to me. It was completely seized. The needle bar was completely seized, solid, and the foot bar as well. And to be honest, I spent about 10 minutes It had been to 2 repair people, and both of them said, nah, it's not worth it, just bin it. This is a featherweight, right? And okay, it wasn't in perfect condition, but it was pretty good. It was seized, but I worked on the needle bar and the foot bar. It took about 10 minutes to free those up. There were other issues. There was wiring issues, things like that, which I had to sort out. And it turned out the hook and base was completely seized up. The 2 parts were completely jammed together. I couldn't get those free. The lady sent off to the USA for another hook and base, and she sent that to me directly, and I put the machine together, and it was perfectly working fine. So, another successful repair, and got that machine back to her, and she was pretty pleased about that. Probably wouldn't have been overly cheap exercise for her. She spent a bit of money, as far as my labour, and then she spent, I think it was $250 or something like that. That's New Zealand dollars. 250 New Zealand's probably about 150 US dollars, I guess, on this hook and base unit, and sending it from the USA to here, and then, or to her, and then to me, and then I sent the machine back to her. So, reasonable amounts of money involved, but, she was pretty keen to get the machine up and running. And that's the other thing I come across a lot with people, is that the machine might not be worth fixing as such, like the price could be quite high, but because it means a lot to them, they are happy to go ahead and get it repaired. I've had quite a few jobs like that, where I just go back and I quote a price that's pretty high. It's more than what the machine's worth. You could probably buy one secondhand for a lot less, although you never know what you're getting with the secondhand one either. But I just go back with a high, well, not overly bloated price, if you know what I mean. It's not too much. I'm not adding more to it to put them off, put it that way. I'm just going back with the price that it's going to cost for the parts and the labour, and the labour could be substantial. And they come back and they say, go ahead, do it. So, I get a little bit of that as well. I got quite a few inquiries just through the interview as well, and just for parts and things like that. Yeah, so that worked out pretty well for me. And that led to a contact from a guy in Wanganui, which is in the North Island. I'm in the top of the South Island. He's up in the North Island, probably central, sort of. Yeah, he was running a museum. He had a little museum of machines, and he sent me a list. And he said to me, oh, I heard you're on RNZ, and it sounds like, you're pretty keen on your machines, and you're, obviously a collector and bits and pieces, and would like to give you my machine collection, and which blew me away. Couldn't believe it. They'll be here tomorrow. They're arriving with a furniture removal company, so they'll be at the depot tomorrow. And I gratefully accepted. I'm going to pay for the freight, and thought I might make him a little donation as well. So just to let you know what he's got. So this will be coming up on future videos. Is this little haul of basically a small museum's worth of gear. So the note he sent me, he's in his 90s, this guy, so he sends me letters. He doesn't do email. I think his son does email for him if they have to, but he sends me handwritten letters. So he says that a list of machines, but as they are in storage, it may not be 100%. We prefer to move the whole lot, so I just sort of asked him if, maybe he wanted to split it up, send me a few machines that I was maybe interested in, but he wanted to keep the whole collection, just send that, get rid of the whole lot. So non-Singer, mostly hand machines. They have been in working order. A Free Rotary, a Friston Rossmann, Howman, Laidlaw Special, Unity, Victory, Wertheim, a Vickers Monarch Special. They're the non-Singers. The Singers, there's a 12K, there's a couple of 15Ks, a 66K treadle, new type stand, 99K, 3 of them. I think I've got 8 or 9 99Ks in various states of disrepair, or some of them might be okay. And then this is an additional 3. Or I might have 11 99Ks, plus these 3 will be 14, so I need to start getting rid of some 99Ks. They aren't really all that sought after, don't seem to be worth much money. They're nice little machines, but everyone seems to want the featherweights. There's another 99K in a table with a stand, so make that 15 total. 185K green. That's the little 185K. I'm doing a video on that one there, just behind me. That's a sort of a fawny brown two-tone 185K. I've got that one mostly recorded. I need to do a little bit more on that. 201K knee control, 201K Centennial, 201K brown times 2, 201K black, and those two are the new shape, the brown and the blacks. 306K Centennial, 319K black, 319K green, coffin top treadle, hem stitch machine treadle, some old Japanese models, Singer 400W, I think these are industrials, Union Special 11900K, I think that's a overlocker, Durkop button sewer, 195K industrial head only machines. Yeah, so industrial machines are head only, not on tables, which suits me because the industrial tables are just so bulky. But yeah, that's a little list of what he could see. So yeah, I hope to be able to pick those up. I do have storage issues. That's my main concern. Is my storage is pretty full. I'm probably going to have to make room by getting rid of some of the older machines, maybe that I was just going to use for parts. When I say get rid of them, I don't mean chuck them out. I mean just maybe donate them to charity shops or something like that. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. And I mean, I haven't really even got anywhere near the videos for the machines that I picked up from the auction that you may have seen the video on. So you know, there's a lot of YouTube fodder there. There's huge amounts of video material in the wings. The problem is that you know, being full-time doing the sewing machine repair, which is reasonably busy, it's virtually a full-time job. You know, I have to sort of squeeze in the YouTube videos when I can. So, you know, my mission was to do one a week. And last year, pretty much, I got, I think on average, 1 video a week done. This year, I'm sort of a little bit more patchy in my videos. So I'll do 2 or 3 in a patch and then a bit of a break, and then I'll do a few more in another patch. So, you know, and I'm starting to do a few little shorts here and there. I'm not sure whether YouTube shorts really suit my channel, but you know, hopefully it helps people out. I don't know. I've done one just recently. If you have a look on my channel, it's the bulb removal. This one here, Singer 185K. It's just quick. You know, the shorts have to be under a minute or just under a minute. And it was just a quick video showing pulling the cover off the bulb and then, you know, undoing the bulb and then redoing the bulb and putting the cover back on. So just a quick short there. And it seemed to, you know, it spiked up to 1,700 views sort of overnight, and then I can see in the analytics that it's just sort of it's raising slight, so it came up really sharp and then sort of just flatline, not quite flatline, just going up and up a little bit. But you know, whether they're any use to anyone, I don't know. So sort of keeping shorts in the back of my mind at the moment to try and maybe boost the channel. So as far as your contributions are going towards things like this here. This here is actually attached to my, it's attached to the windowsill here off to the side, and it's basically it's a microphone stand, right? But I'm not using it for a microphone. I'm attaching my camera here. I can't show you that right now because I'm using the camera there on the tripod. But this here is sort of an articulated arm, and that allows me to position the camera anywhere I like within reason. You know, it can come over here, I can extend it out, I can bring it in, and then I can change the angle on this here. So pretty handy. So that's pretty much where your contributions go towards that. So yeah, I really appreciate that. Thank you for allowing me to do that. It just makes the videos a lot better. I don't know if I've mentioned this, but I've got a little, you'll be able to see there, I've got a wireless microphone here. Well, it's not, it doesn't look wireless there, that's the lapel side of it. But in my pocket here, I've got this Rode wireless microphone, and the other part of it's connected to the camera just up here, and that allows me to just walk around, you know, if I'm doing a video, say on an industrial machine where I'm speaking a long way from the camera, this just gives me a lot better audio. So effectively, you know, your contributions go towards things like this. And also obviously I get a bit of money through YouTube as well for the advertising revenue, which I put back into the, you know, this sort of thing here to improve my videos. Yeah, so yeah, that's sort of what's been going on lately. Yeah, just thought I'd give you a behind the scenes little catch up on what's happening on the channel. Just an appreciation for your support, and I'll leave this as a you know, a video just for you guys. I don't think I'll release this later on. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll do an exclusive video for you guys, and then I'll leave it for a few months, basically so that only you guys can see it, only my patrons can see the exclusive content. And if you're in the exclusive tier, I think I've got 2 tiers there, and then later on I'll release it to the public, and that way general public gets to see those videos as well. Not sure if I'll release this one as a general video, probably just keep it as a Patreon exclusive, Patreon exclusive. Yeah, so yeah, I think that's about it. I think I've covered off pretty much everything. I'm hoping to get this off in a week's time. Start getting a bit more movement into the old finger there, and yeah, so I'll be back into it. I probably could do YouTube videos with it like this. It's a bit awkward. I can only use one hand pretty much. It's just a little bit awkward, so I probably will leave that until I get this. This is the splint. This is a hard sort of splint that they want me to wear, and yeah, it's quite restrictive. I can still grip things slightly there, but I do have to be careful not to, you know, put too much strain on the wound and whatnot. So yeah, and yep, I'm looking off to the side because my monitor's just here. I should be looking at you guys, but I just get a bit distracted with my mug over here. But anyway, I'll stop rambling. Thanks a lot for your support. Really appreciate it. and I'll try and get a few more exclusive videos done for you guys in appreciation for your support. Thanks a lot. Cheers. Bye.